feel like the people who get their jimmies rustled over this, I feel like they're globalists because they don't realize that we don't have to take over every country in the world, nor should we, nor do we have an obligation to, nor even could we. You have to find ways to exist with other nations that don't do things like you, other nations that don't think like you, other nations that don't have the freedoms that we have, etc., etc. This should not have to be explained to people that can make themselves intelligent through autodidactism and the internet. But yet here we are because people willfully choose to be morons. I get so aggravated over this because so many people don't get geopolitical issues and they're all neocons and Democrats. So you have to find a way to coexist with people. That's not accepting anything. It's just, I just want to do my thing and you do your thing. And we'll be happy with each other doing our own things. If we can find a mutually beneficial arrangement that doesn't compromise anything and yet allows us to be, because that actually, ironically enough, would have helped a little bit with Nat Sex since you're not going to allow the domestic production. But we had great domestic production. We were beating the Saudis under Trump with export of oil and gas. And here you had the foreign policy team with the Trump administration meeting with Saudi Arabia. You had the Abraham Accords. Holy cow. It was like manna from heaven. You know, cats and dogs holding hands, skipping down the yellow brick road. I mean, it was wonderful. Everything was pretty lovely, was it not? We didn't have to worry about short stack in North Korea. We didn't have to worry about the commie circus in Beijing as much because everyone thought that Trump was nuts enough to touch a button and boom, they would be exploded. So, it was a pretty good deal. And then you get Joe Biden in office. Biden is the sloppy seconds of the Obama administration. He is kind of a placeholder. He's not really the president. All of the people behind him are. And he's just the placeholder. And so they have him out there and he says all this stuff. Oh, with the Saudi Arabia because of Khashoggi, etc. They're enemies, whatever. And then he decides to cuddle up to Iran, who hates us and has killed our soldiers, bombed our soldiers, continues to carry out terror attacks on us through proxies like the Houthi, etc. And they hate Saudi Arabia. They've been in a power struggle. And if I got to pick one over the other, I'm not going to go with the people who call us the great Satan and continue. I mean, yes, you can make an argument about Saudis 9/11, etc. But again, geopolitics, it's not cut and dry. Long story short, they had signed on to Abraham Accords. You had trade opening up, flights, all kinds of stuff. Amazing things happening. Biden comes in. He decides to, for some reason, they are obsessed with making Iran like them. And I don't understand why. So they go over. This is after they were shooting their people in the street for the Green Revolution. And I just saw a headline. They apparently toppled some governor over there, which is huge. And so that makes the Saudis mad. Then he says they're enemies, etc. Are you shocked that they don't want to help him out with oil? So because of Biden and Democrat arrogance, everyone else in the country is paying the price. So you have Biden going over there, according to this New York Times piece, planning this risky trip, fist bumping the crown prince there after he, talked a real tough game on the other side of the ocean. And then went through with the trip. You know that they talked about this. For them to say otherwise is an absolute lie. If you believe that the administration did not talk seriously with them about oil, I have a bridge to sell you. So lawmakers, according to the piece, who had been told about the trip's benefits in classified briefings and other conversations that included details of the oil deal, which had not previously been disclosed and was supposed to lead to a surge in production between September and December, they were infuriated. They said Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman duped the administration. Well, you got to be a dupe to be duped in this situation. American officials and officials from Gulf Arab nations apparently all were talking to New York Times. They're mad over this. So they said that far from rebuilding the relationship with the leader that Biden called a pariah and all this other stuff, now it's another low point in our ties with Saudi Arabia. So the thing is that there's kind of a duality here. You have the Crown Prince who wants to, as the article notes, really doesn't want to appear to be reliant upon the U.S. They have opened up. I think women can drive over there now. They've been trying to reform some things. Whether it's for optics or not, I don't know, because I'm not over there. But this definitely to shed this optic of reliance on the United States. And so when American officials apparently told New York Times that days before this OPEC plus thing, and remember when I said they were all going up to I think it was the Netherlands or something? If they're all going up there in person to meet, something serious is going to be announced. And they had received assurances, they said, from the Crown Prince that there would be no production cuts. And then they said they learned of the reversal. That is one of the, everyone who is involved in that should have been fired. They should have been fired. See, back during the days of I was watching a historical piece on different monarchies and all this stuff. Like, it's what I do late at night to try to go to sleep. And they used to basically put, like back in the olden days, they would put their ministers and advisors and their privy council members who did stupid stuff like this. There would be horrible consequences. There isn't anymore because, everybody's a wuss. But nobody gets fired. Nobody even gets fired or fined or anything. People can commit crimes and no one goes to, look at Lois Lerner. Nothing ever happens. Look at the FBI agent who was doctoring emails. Nothing ever happens. So you have this reversal. None of these people saw it. Or they saw it and there wasn't anything. I'm amazed at the hackery. That is insane. You've got it. You're telling me that calling the leader of the nation that you need to do a deal with a pariah and you would treat him as a pariah, you didn't see that there might be some sort of response coming? We have some of the dumbest people making foreign policy decisions right now.